this working here. And hey, everybody, good to see you. I was just out here walking down here a little bit south of the church, bumped into a ministry here in the neighborhood, and a brother of mine said, "Hey, interview." And so here we are. So we're gonna get to know each other here at the same time. But I'm Donnie.
Hello, Donnie. How you doing? I'm Pastor Manuel with Albuquerque Church on the Streets.
Pastor Manuel, and that's you right here, huh?
Right there.
So let me get the.
And we're just getting ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, I see that.
Another great day that we have out here. And we come to bring the word to the lost and the broken.
Yeah.
And a lot of we feed also. We provide hygiene packets, and we also provide clothes also.
Do you? Okay. Yeah. Very nice. How long you been out here as far as today?
Well, today we usually here on every Saturday on the corner of Louisiana and Central from 12 to 3-ish.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. And so what's your routine? You have chairs and stuff?
Well, we do. See, a lot of people have us mixed up with a lot of other ministries. We're called Church on the Streets because that's what we do.
Yeah.
We actually link church and get because we come to the streets, and what we do is we set up and we come and we bring a message.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
Yeah, we bring a message.
They don't let you preach.
Yeah, I bring a message.
Oh no. Okay, that's good.
I bring a message of God and repentance and
how
much we need Jesus in our lives, and without Him, that we're going to keep banging our head up against a wall, and everything that we do is going to fail time and time again.
Absolutely.
And what we try to do is try to bring a little bit of hope to the people.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people out here that are lost and broken in spirit, and they don't know where to turn.
Amen.
And sometimes when they get to that point where they get sick and tired, they reach out, but they're grabbing nothing.
That's right.
And so we give them a way out.
Amen.
We also have a sober living home called Redemption Home.
Okay, where is that?
It's just right over here on Pennsylvania, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
It's new. We're new, so we're able to get these people off the streets. Right now, we got a couple today that said, you know what, we want off the streets.
Nice.
And it is faith-based, and it's not going to be easy.
Very good.
But you know what? It's a way for them to get their lives how it's supposed to be.
Amen.
Because their lives aren't out here. That's not what Jesus wants for them.
Right.
But this is what they had to put up with because of the decisions that they made in life. And we all have made decisions that have carried us down a path that we never thought we'd be in.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's a whirlwind down. And sometimes it's, the general public says, well, why don't you just get a job? Well, you know what? It's hard to get a job.
Yeah.
If you don't have a residence, if you don't have clothes, if you don't, it's hard. It's very hard for them. So that's what we try to do. We try to give the people out of here hope. You give man hope, all of a sudden he's got that feeling that, you know what, maybe I can do it.
Yeah.
And then with the testimonies that we have from our team, that have been there and done that and have come out successfully because of Jesus, then they're thinking, well, maybe I can do it. And once that seed has been planted, they'll go down somewhere, and the Holy Spirit will make sure it gets watered down the road somewhere.
Right.
So planting seeds is what it's all about. Leading people to Christ. Trying to take back what the enemy stole. And bring it back to this side. That's what we're here for.
So what's your story? You Albuquerque guy, or?
I'm Albuquerque, born and raised. We had a family business, a mobile home business.
Okay.
And one day, we always went to church. We all, our parents always took us to church every Sunday. Religion. And then one day my eyes got opened up and gave myself to the Lord. And, I never thought I'd be a pastor, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But He had plans for me. And I've been doing this now for, we're going on maybe 12 years.
Albuquerque Church on the Streets for 12 years? Yeah, very nice.
Albuquerque Church on the Streets, and we're small. We're a small team. And we're good with that.
Yeah.
People are saying, "Manuel, isn't it time you get a building?" I was all, well, then I won't be on the streets no more. I'll take Church on the Streets.
Yeah.
We won't be on the streets no more.
You have to change your name.
I have to change my name, right? But, I'm going to be doing this. My son works with me. And we got some other people that are family members.
Yeah.
So and our team is... people wave to us. And talk to us.
It's kind of hopping out here today.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful day today. We probably had maybe 100 people easily go through.
Oh, did you today?
And then there's other ministries that help us out. God's Warehouse help us,
Uh-huh.
big help with us.
Yeah.
Watched by the Word. There's certain people that give us food. Now we're getting linked up with Salvation Army for more food.
Yeah, I saw
and stuff
their
like
I saw
that.
their tent.
But I mean, but I'll stay cooking Friday night, so they have a nice warm meal today. I had a green chili stew for them.
Yeah,
So
nice.
they can enjoy. We had pizza and so many snacks and goodies and this and that and the other. And, but the most thing that we had the love of Christ.
Yeah.
We had something that sometimes they don't get out here,
Yeah.
and that's love. Somebody to be nice to them without wanting nothing back.
Right.
Like I tell people, I say, you know what? I don't want anything from you. All I want to do is just love on you and help you and see if there's anything I can do for you.
Yeah.
And I don't want anything from you. I just want you to be loved.
Yeah.
And some people respond to it. Some don't. Some get mad. We had an incident today where this guy was obviously possessed. And he was going off. And, but yeah, this is the devil's playground.
Yeah.
We expect that. We expect the resistance from the enemy.
Right.
The enemy don't like us out here.
Right.
But little does he know that we got a covering. We got an anointing. That they say where two or more are gathered in His name. There He is. So Jesus is here, and we know He's here. The Holy Spirit runs inside of us. So this area right here, this is anointed.
Yeah.
This is like where the burning bush was.
Yeah.
So enemy doesn't, but he tries.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tries to wiggle his way in here. But as soon as he tries, we get him out. And Jesus gave us that power to do that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Behind me, Satan.
Well,
You're not welcome here. You got to go.
It's good to meet you, man.
Pleasure.
I had a plan today, and my plans, you changed them.
Oh.
So, for good. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Well, I thank you for coming. Everything that God does, there's a word for it. It's called providence, right?
Yeah,
and that means God is in control.
Yeah.
There's no accident that you're right here.
Yeah.
That we're talking right now, and let the people know that, hey, we're out here on Central and Louisiana every Saturday. If you want to come and volunteer, you want to come and help out in any way, or come and hang out, or you want to come and tell your testimony, you're welcome. Everybody is welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you, man. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'll look you up and send you a link of this video.
Okay.
And our building's just on the other side of that red brick building right there.
Okay.
And I'm sure we'll bump into each other.
Oh, okay. I'd like to stop by. Do you have a card by any chance?
Yeah. Let me.
Get with me.
I'll send you the stuff.
Okay, because we have a big event coming up on April 25th.
Okay.
Called the Jesus March.
Okay. Cool.
And it's going to be awesome. And we're trying to get the body of Christ together to come together and let's march for Jesus.
Nice.
On April 25th.
April 25th.
April 25th.
All right.
March. Remember, Albuquerque Church in the streets.
All right.
If you need anything, if anybody out there needs anything, a place to stay, food.
Can I text this number? Will you get that if I text that?
That's it. Right
okay,
there.
then you'll see a 505 number from me.
Okay.
And I'll just say, hey, this is Donnie that we met, and then we'll be in contact.
Donnie, was
God bless you. Good to meet you. I'm going to go yakking to myself. Yeah, say hi to everybody.
Take care. Live for Jesus and rely on Him, and your day will be better, I promise.
Awesome, man. All right, good to meet you. Okay. We'll see you around. All right. Well, I was just telling Manuel that I had a plan, and the plans just got changed. Just down here south of the church, and I have my cards with my notes, and I was going to share. And I think this week's video is probably going to be what we just did. So I'm going to walk over here by the church and button things up. I'd like you to see the church, but just letting you know, like Manuel said, this is our neighborhood. This is, if you're familiar with Albuquerque, we're here at Louisiana and Central, and this is an old bombed out CVS building. They couldn't make a go of it because of their location, and yet they want millions of dollars for this building. We would love to. It'd be cool to be in this building, but it's not going to work. So I'll make my way on down to the church building, and I see the camera says we have about 9 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens. But we got the casino on the other side, and I'll just make my way over here. So how's it going? All right. Yeah. All right, so we got the local guys here, and well, I have to make sure this is not edited. And yeah, my brain's kind of scrambled right now because I was walking there and said, man, this is hopping, this is crazy. And all of a sudden, here's this ministry next to me, and then met Manuel, and you got to see all that on camera. I I was talking, and I noticed that the camera was on photo instead of video, and so anyway, what an experience. What the purpose of Christians on Mission, this YouTube channel, and what we're doing here, is just to give you an idea of the ministry that we're doing here in Albuquerque, and I hope that the sound suppression is working. I hope that video with Manuel worked out. But here's our church. That's our building that we meet in, and that's Restore. We're behind the fence right here, and we roll the gate open when it's church time. And it's been a lot better because we're having encampments and trash and stuff accumulate in the parking lot. And so, yeah, this is where Karma and I come. There's the front door, and there's the side door, and it's kind of funny. I'll keep walking over here towards the, I have no idea how the audio and video is going to work on this, but I have my cards right here, and I wanted to talk about the introverted evangelist and what to do when you're afraid to talk to others about Christ or be out with people you haven't met. And personally, I'm a natural introvert. And you would think, wow, so you like to get up and teach, you like to preach. Yeah, but we introverts, we kind of hide underneath things. And there's a I don't know, I heard this quote, I heard a podcast this week about a pastor who had a large church, preached to thousands, and his name is Tom Eli, and he's the president of, Oasis USA Ministries. And he said, I'm totally happy to preach and share my faith with thousands, but I'm terrified to share my faith with one person. And so we got to experience some of that today in real time. I wasn't planning on kind of getting surrounded like we were there, but a little different vibe than last Saturday walking around the public school there. But found my way back to my car, and we'll just visit here a little bit and call it this week's update. I sure hope that audio works with Manuel. I know I didn't give him my microphone, so it may be hard to hear him speak. But, you know, last week I asked, we were talking about prayer, and I asked you guys to contact me, text me if you have my number, reach out on Facebook, or respond to the email with Donnie at restoreabq.com. And a handful of you did, and I'm just so encouraged. I know a couple of you said that you are watching the videos and you're praying for us all the time. And another person called and said, please pray for me to the phrase in, or the command in 2 Timothy chapter 4 is do the work of an evangelist. And God calls us to do the work of evangelism. And it's super hard for introverts like us. And so maybe next time I'll save my thoughts for that. Or I could do it now. It's only 14 minutes in. What do we do if we are naturally an introverted? The thought of sharing our faith with one-on-one just can seem overwhelming. It actually scares us. And then here's this command in Scripture that says, do the work of an evangelist. You know, when we think about the Great Commission, it says, go into all the world and it says to teach and to baptize and to make disciples. Well, we may go at some point, we have to talk to real human beings. And that can be challenging. There can be people that really resist. You heard those guys as I was walking by the bus stop there, and they're cursing and they're yelling. And I know that that's just one form of goofy interaction. There can be evangelism in all areas. It can be in a classroom. It can be with your business friends. It can be anywhere that you go. But you're going to have resistance. And right there in 2 Timothy 4, it says endure sufferings. Let me pull it up. What is the two big things that come to mind that I deal with personally when I think of evangelism in sharing my faith is fear and fatigue. And when I talk about fear, I think about that great preacher. It's one thing to get up and speak publicly, but to interact in a chaotic environment where people might reject you can be even more difficult at Thanksgiving with family members. Because if they reject you there, or if there's issues there, well, then you've got it in your relationship, and that's super hard. So fear is one thing. Fatigue is another. Thought is what if someone says, I say yes to what you're saying. What do I do now? And you go like, oh, why don't you come to church with me? And or maybe you're doing mercy ministry and you're helping someone, and they respond positively, and suddenly you've got more work to do. You've got a real human being that has needs, and now we have to get involved. And it can just be tiring. And I also know this from just an experience as pastoring. I think any pastor, I know every good pastor that can get in, can say that, I got some people coming here, so I'm going to mosey on over here. You were the shepherd of the flock, and we think, well, this couple is having problems, and this single person is having problems, and this person is it's January, and we're all depressed, especially if you're in the cold north. And I know Dad used to say, never make a major life decision in January or February if you're living in Nebraska, because, man, it gets miserable, and the pastor has to deal with, and is blessed to deal with, being a shepherd of the flock. And you might feel overwhelmed with just the needs within the congregation. And you think, do the work of an evangelist? That means I have to go get more people, means more problems. And there is a tension there that when it gets down to just the logistics of pastoring a church, money that's involved, and how are you going to spend your budget money, and that can all get complicated. So that's the reality of, I'm kind of halting in my talk because the people that just walked by me are pointing, and I'm like kind of getting wondering what's going on, but looks like they're minding their own business. So yeah, why? Fear and fatigue. Let's look at 2 Timothy chapter 4 here real quick at my notes. There's about 6 or 8 directives in chapter 4 that are commands of God, that is Paul inspired, or God inspired, I'm getting all mixed up today, as God inspired Paul to talk to Timothy. And he said, Timothy, in verse 2, preach. And he explains how to preach, the urgency and the necessity of preaching. In verse 5, he says, be sober-minded. Make sure I'm looking at the right spot. And then in verse 5, he also said, do the work of an evangelist. Oh, first he said, endure suffering. And then he said, do the work of an evangelist. And then he says, fulfill your ministry. All those are in verse 5. I think it's kind of interesting that enduring suffering and doing the work of an evangelist is right beside each other in the list. Paul goes through the rest of that chapter talking about, I'm at the end of my life. I've fought the fight. I've finished the race. I've kept the faith. And he said, henceforth, there is laid up for me Jesus will award me with the crown of righteousness, and all those that love his appearing. That's the gospel right there. That just turned it from works into, from earning into receiving. It's getting a little more chaotic than I'd planned on this. We'll see if this is going to be uploadable. Maybe it's getting better with all the moment. And then he finished in verse 19. He said, and greet Prisca. That's kind of funny. He says, preach the word. He says, endure suffering. And then he ends up, and by the way, I have some pastoring I need you to do. I have some people I want you to say hi to me for. I've got some local needs that need to be addressed. Greet Prisca. So what's the point? The point is this. We are called to do the work of an evangelist. And we're called to endure sufferings. How in the world can we actually do that, especially if we're an introvert? I had 5 actions that we can take to help us, to help introverted church leaders do the work of an evangelist. Number 1 is this: love Christ's appearing. Well, that's kind of funny. That doesn't sound like an action step. The first thing that I need you to do is I need you to love Jesus. I need you to love the thought of seeing Christ. Love his appearing, the thought of when he comes one day in the clouds, and we'll be with him forever, and the thought of seeing him work in our lives. Love Christ's appearing. Here's the drumbeat that I always have. Mission can turn into moralism really quickly. Go, do. What's your problem? Church, you don't get out of your 4 walls. And there's this heavy-handed approach that comes to mercy ministry. I've experienced that. And but also with any kind of evangelism, any kind of mission work, and it can get very heavy-handed and legalistic. The very beginning and the reason that we do anything is to know this. Paul said, do you want a crown? Do you want to receive the exact same blessing that I'm looking forward to, the crown of righteousness, the award from Jesus himself? Here's what you need to do. He does not say, do what I did. Look how hard I worked. Look how fast I ran. Look how well I kept the faith. He doesn't say that. He says, this is for all who love his appearing. That's the gospel. We do what we do not to earn our salvation. We do what we do is because Jesus invaded us and he said, receive me by grace through faith. It's not earning. It's receiving. Jesus is in charge of this. He comes and says, I overwhelm you with my plan, my purpose, my love. Trust me. Stop holding on to your crown and your authority and release and let me run the show. I'm running it anyway. Love the Lord's appearing. The key to being motivated to talk to people is to up our love with Christ. Also, I think a lot of us that are introverts, especially in church leadership, we're very gifted in, people in this category. I'm not saying I'm gifted in it, proving I'm not so much today, but we love to teach, and we love to preach, and we love to study, and we love books, and we love to find out what people did boldly for Christ long ago in church history. But when it comes to ourselves, it's more of a challenge. As far as our situation, we love to do a sermon series. Well, I say that's great. The joy about evangelism that I have experienced as an introvert is I don't have to do everything. We all have different gifts. We're a team. Evangelism is not a solo sport. It should be an expression of the church, the local body. And so some of us are teachers. Some of us have more of a gift of evangelism. Some are more servants. Some are more counselors and have a tender heart and can identify with the emotional needs of people that are in our church. So remember, it's a team sport. Evangelism is. It's an expression of the church. And so if you're a teacher, if you're a preacher, do a sermon series on mercy ministry. There's this great book by Tim Keller called Ministries of Mercy. I highly recommend it. It gives a theology. You know, we love theology. Well, there's a theology of the deaconship. There's the theology of mercy ministries. And Keller, it's kind of an unknown book by Keller. It's his first one he ever wrote. And Keller gives a theology of mercy ministry, but he also gives a very clear strategy of how mercy ministries can address the needs of a neighborhood surrounding your church, and how a church ought to be, how the church can strategically and practically implement, deed type ministry. Highly recommend that. Study that. Do a sermon series on that. We love to preach about justification by faith, and we love to talk about propitiation, and we love to think about sanctification, and we love all of the theology terms that end with "ation" on them. Well, evangelism and outreach and missions and mercy ministry is a theology as well. So use your gift. Preach a series on that. Do a call to missions and a call to evangelism for your local congregation. Preach it, teach it, and remember that it's a team sport. All right, next one is pray. I just find this, I was praying before this video started. I hope this works, this video. It's pretty random, but I was feeling flat today, kind of feeling flat right now. But you never know what's going to happen if we say, Lord, I really want to obey you, and I really do love your appearing. Lord, help me. Please show me. I need courage. I need strength. I need doors to open. And that leads us to the next step. Find an extrovert. Go to someone in your church that's a people person and just say, you're involved in mercy ministry. You're involved in various forms of outreach and evangelism. Could I just come and follow you? Just get along with someone else. We don't have to do everything. We don't have to be everybody. Nobody has all of the gifts. Find somebody that's already involved in the kind of evangelistic or mercy ministry type ministry, and go just get with them, volunteer with them if they're an organization, and find yourself an extrovert. And the final, we've had love is appearing, study, teach as a church, pray, find an extrovert, and the final one is love his appearing. Starts with the same thing, love his appearing. Paul says, I have fought the fight, I have finished the faith, I have kept the faith. And henceforth, he doesn't say, because of that, I earned a crown. Henceforth simply means after this. Henceforth is different than therefore. Henceforth says, this has happened, and now this is going to happen. So after this happens, I'm going to receive a crown of righteousness. The Bible calls it an award. And it says that is available for all who love his appearing. The most powerful motivator is not duty, it's delight. It's not legalism, it's love. And someday I'll tell you the story about my dad that put this all into practice. Dad was one of the most introverted, shy people. I guess I'm telling you the story now. 20 minutes in, what's wrong with the 30-minute video? I love my dad. I respect my dad. He's an amazing man. But when he first became a pastor, he was so afraid to interact with people that weren't part of the church. A big part of our church was in our family. And that when it's time to go do a hospital visit, he says he would drive around the block, around and around and around, because he was too nervous to go talk to a sick person in a hospital. That man started loving Christ more. He started seeing the appearing of Jesus Christ more. He started praying to Jesus in a way he had never seen before, and it convicted him to go to the Philippines and then go to Mexico. And I saw him go from that timid, and the oldest son, I remember Dad when he was younger, and he went from that timid, shy introvert to the most annoying, bold. He is hard to live with. He's hard to be social with because he's always talking to people he doesn't know. He tells the story when they were doing church work down in Juarez, Mexico, where he got pulled over by a police officer, and the police officer said, "You violated some traffic law." And you know, the police officers there, when Dad was there, they were having the cartel wars, and everything was on high alert. The regular police officers were carrying assault rifles and in full gear and helmets, and he pulled Dad over, and he went to Dad and he said in Spanish, "Give me your driver's license." And Dad looked at the man and he said, "No, sir. No, sir." And Dad said it in Spanish, "I will not give you my driver's license, sir. You can look at it," but Dad wouldn't let go of it because he knew he'd never see that driver's license again. It would take him weeks of bureaucratic nonsense navigating the streets of Juarez, trying to get to the right office to find his permission to get his driver's license back. "No, sir," he said to the man with the assault rifle, "I will not give you my driver's license." Dad became bold as a lion. And even Christmas, we went out for coffee here in Albuquerque, and as soon as we got done for coffee, we're hopping back in the van and getting back to our day, and there's this couple sitting beside us, and Dad, they were from Mexico, and Dad started talking to him, and we're waiting out in the van for Dad to come because he's talking to people he doesn't know. It is amazing to see how God can transform us in spite of how we were born. So just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your feedback. I look forward to hearing. So much went on this week that I'll tell you about in the email. If you're watching this video and you're not on the email, hop on Facebook, hop on social media, say, "I want to get in and hear the weekly updates," or just email me at donnie@restoreabq.com. I hope this video works. I'm going to listen to it here in just a second. God bless you. We'll see you next week.